Welcome. I'm Greg Brooks, Community and Public Relations Director at Walton EMC. We all know things have been a little different over the last year and a half, and so it is with the annual meeting for 2021. We're going to do things a little different this year and have a question and answer session with our board chair, Don Taylor, and CEO, Ronnie Lee, and they're going to give you an update on what's been going on at the co-op over the last year. Don, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and then your time on the Walton EMC board.
Well, my name is Don Taylor. I have been a member of Walton EMC since 2003 and have been on the board of directors since 2015. I'm currently serving as the board chair. I am also an attorney, have been practicing law since 1994, and half of that, I would say, was at the Gwinnett County District Attorney's Office. I was an assistant DA. In 2009, I left and opened my own practice, and I specialize in divorce, child custody, criminal defense, and serve as a guardian ad litem for children. And I am married. I have two daughters. One is a senior in college, and one goes off to college in the fall.
Mm-hmm. Empty nester.
I will be an empty nester.
The two things that Walton EMC customer owners are most interested in are reasonable bills and a reliable power supply. So let's start with reasonable bills. Are the bills of Walton EMC customer owners reasonable? And if they are, what does the board do to make sure they stay that way?
Yes, they are. Yes, I mean, so one of the things that we do to keep our power, 80% of our power bill each month is power cost. And that is compared to the other EMCs in the state. The PSC recently did a survey, and if you think that a Walton EMC customer uses, on average, residential customer, 1,500 kilowatt hours per month, when you take that into the PSC rate survey, we were $19.10 lower than the state average. We were $135 less than the highest, and certainly we're lower than Georgia Power. So yes, we have very reasonable rates.
That's good news.
Yes, it is. One of the other ways we keep our rates reasonable is because of our two subsidiaries. We have Walton Gas and EMC Security, and so any excess proceeds from those subsidiaries that flow into Walton literally are used for Walton EMC's customers to keep their costs low.
A lot of people may not know this, but we operate at cost. Could you talk a little about that?
The whole goal of our EMC is that we are customer owned, and so when we have excess proceeds, you would call them profits, but they're not profits because they're returned to our owners. Over the life of the EMC, $117 million has been returned to our customer owners, and in December we returned $9 million to the owners. So look at your power bill in December, around December, January, and hopefully you'll notice that your bill is significantly lower depending upon how much power you use.
See that nice credit, good Christmas present.
Yes, yes.
So we've talked about what Walton EMC customer owners are paying now for their power. So Ronnie, it's your turn. Tell us a little bit about what you expect for rates in the future. But before you do that, tell us a little bit about you and your career here at Walton EMC.
Well, I've been at Walton EMC for 42 years, and it's been a very, very good career. It's been a good place to work. We have great people, and the jobs that we do for our members, I think, is what really makes this job even more interesting, too, because of the camaraderie that we have as individuals, that we work together, but yet the knowledge that we serve the people that actually own us. So it's been a really enjoyable time for me. Talking a little bit about rates, as everyone knows, Vogel is certainly under construction now and will be finished in a year or so. There will be some upward pressure because of the increase of Vogel when it goes into the rate base. But it's not going to be as bad as we first thought. Even though Vogel is costing a lot of money to build, it certainly is needed because of the there's no carbon at all emissions from Vogtle. It's just a emission-free plant, and we all should be thankful for that because of what it does for the environment. But there will be some upward pressure, but not near as much as we had first thought. And for the first 4 or 5 years, probably, it could be in the single digits. It would be very small, which is good news, I think. But Vogtle will help us in Georgia to become, I think, more of a carbon neutral environment, and certainly will be better for all of us, because that's what renewables is the thing that's being talked about. Renewables is where we're all headed with electric vehicles and such. So we should be doing it in our industry as well, and we have been doing that and are doing that.
All right, so we've talked about reasonable bills, so now let's talk about the other thing that customer owners want to see, and that's a reliable power supply. Dawn, what are you and the board doing to make sure that the lights come on when customer owners flip the switch?
Well, it is the board's responsibility to make sure that our grid has the capacity to deliver the electricity that our customers need, and also is secure and able to do that. Of course, the grid are the lines that come in and out of our homes and businesses. And certainly in a storm, we all notice the EMC employees out there restoring our power, and Walton is on every street corner getting the power back up and fixing lines. But even in normal times, they're maintaining the lines and maintaining rights of way, replacing meters, replacing broken poles, so that when there is a storm, we have the safest, most reliable grid that there is.
So Ronnie, how did the co-op keep reliability high during the COVID pandemic?
Well, number one, we stopped all of our meetings and even traveling to meetings. As you know, all around the country that happened. We let a lot of our different groups of employees in the different areas work at home that could, especially our phone answering. Everybody couldn't, but some did. The crews that worked outside, we staggered their times that they started and when they quit, so that we could distance as much as possible. But our folks kind of came together like we do it in an ice storm. Our group, our folks just seem to come together and they mesh really well together in difficult times, and like an ice storm. And COVID was certainly a difficult time. I mean, look at what we had to do with our annual meetings. Who thought we'd have a drive-through annual meeting instead of an in-person meeting where people can go and we can talk to them and see them. So I am ready for things to get back to normal, whatever the new normal is going to be, and I think our employees are too. But we are beginning to bring people back on a regular basis. The crews will be going back to normal times the end of June. So we're getting back to a resemblance of what we call normal for us. And but it's been a difficult time. But I think our folks have really worked together to make it work for our members, because we still have to keep the lights on. And when the lights go off, our folks have to get out in all kinds of weather and get the lights back on. And they did that, and will continue to.
So Dawn, tell us about resources that the board uses to make sure our power supply is adequate. And then we know that the reliability was not so high in Texas a few months ago. Do you expect something like that to happen here?
I really don't. I think that we know that Walton EMC and Georgia has such a better system than Texas. Essentially, Texas is a state that does not maintain interconnectivity to other states around them. Georgia, on the other hand, has significant interconnectivity of our grid to other states, surrounding states, and most of the eastern part of the country. And so they we can rely upon those states when we have these emergencies. Also, a difference between Georgia and Texas is that Texas is a deregulated market, so that the power generating capacity, the companies who do that do not have any incentive to provide excess capacity for their customers. They don't get paid for it, so they don't do it. Georgia is a regulated state, and we are required to have excess capacity supplied by our generating facilities. We maintain membership in power cooperatives for supply, scheduling, and capacity. And that, along with our partnership with wholesale power suppliers, allows our employees to provide power, electricity 24 hours a day. And it's not just traditional power resources, but renewable resources as well that are in that mix that customers get every day.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of renewable resources, Walton EMC is having great success in that area, doing some groundbreaking work, and we're actually known across the nation for that. Ronnie, will you bring us up to date on what's happening in that area?
Well, about 4 years ago, when I realized that solar prices were going about as low as I thought they'd go as far as installation of solar panels, I came in one day and told some of our staff that we were going to install some solar panels, and some of them told me that I'd lost my mind, and maybe I have. But we ended up looking at putting some solar panels on our distribution system and starting our cooperative solar program, so that people who maybe didn't want to put it on their house, didn't want to put it on their property, could buy a certain portion of energy directly from the sun through our solar program, cooperative solar program. And we did that. We installed our first solar installation here next to the office. It was a 1 megawatt system. And we, through a storm that happened to occur that day, and we actually got on one of the TV stations in Atlanta, came out and did a little story on our solar field. We actually sold all of those blocks in the first solar installation in one day. It was amazing what happened. We do have a lot of people who live on our system who are interested in renewables and in solar, because that's a buzzword today. And so that's one reason I think that our program really has gone well with our members. Still have a lot of people who buy their solar blocks. We do have some extra if anyone wants to buy some now. They could call the office and sign up for some. But it's been a very good program for us. We now have 3 sites on our system where we have installed solar panels, and that has worked very well. We did contract with one of the large data centers to install some solar panels for them. It's a very large project. Most of the solar panels have gone in South Georgia. But when all is said and done, when their facility is completed, we'll have 600 megawatts of solar that'll be serving the needs of this large plant down south of Social Circle. So it's been a very unique arrangement, I think, with this large customer, which it's benefited Walton EMC tremendously because of the jobs that it's brought to the area and because of the revenue that it'll bring to Walton EMC to help our bottom line. So it's been a really good project for us to increase our renewable portfolio.
We certainly thank you for taking your time and being here and sharing with the customer owners, so they know that their co-op's in good hands, and reporting to them on that. Is there any closing thoughts you want to leave us with?
Well, I've been so happy to be part of this process of educating our member owners. One of our principles of our cooperative is education and training, and I've certainly in my service been educated on electricity and what Walton EMC does, and I think that that's part of my role as a director, is to assist with my members that are in my district to educate them and also make sure we're getting that information out, which I think you do such a good job of. Certainly anybody can go to our website and see who their director is for their district, and are always welcome to contact us. And if they have questions or have suggestions or want comment upon our service, so we welcome that.
And one thing I've seen here in my 34 years too is that our board genuinely cares about their fellow members.
Yes, it's such a great family environment, and also just what this company does for us every day that most people don't think about. But when you do think about it, it is something that is invaluable, and it's just done so well here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Ronnie, how about you? Any closing thoughts?
As long as I've been in this business, my strong desire would be that our customers, owners that own Walton EMC, would understand really what we are. We are a company that was started in the local areas by local members of the community. We're owned by the people that utilize our services. And I would just like for that to get across that our members own us. Our customers, that we call customers, and they call probably customers too, they own us. And we try our best to do the very best jobs for them that we can. Our employees, we talk about member owners, customer owners. I mean, that's the term that we use, because we are owned by our customers. And somehow that just doesn't resonate in today's environment, I think, where years and years ago it probably did. We were started in rural areas. Now we don't serve a rural area any longer. When you think about Stone Mountain all the way to Athens, where a lot of people have moved, and we do serve a lot of houses. But that I would like to have seen in my career, that our member owners really sense that they see that they own us. And if there's anything that I could leave to you as a customer, it would be, you do own us, and we care about our service to you and our level of service.
Thank you for your time and attention today. We hope you learned a little about the co-op and feel confident that your board and employees are providing you with excellent service. As always, if you want to learn more about Walton EMC, visit our website at waltonemc.com or our Facebook page at facebook.com/WaltonEMC. Here's hoping we see you in person at the 2022 annual meeting.